In the Gita, the God himself is telling Arjun to take refuge in that supreme God, and for his attainment, advising him to go to those saints who are Tattvadarshi. Similarly, Allah is telling Hazrat Muhammad that there is some other complete God, and to attain him, look for those saints who are Tattvadarshi. Who is that Lord? To unravel all these mystical secrets, must listen the nectar words of Jagat Guru Tattvadarshi, Sant Rampal Ji Maharaj, based on the holy scriptures of all religions.
God came and provided this knowledge that you are living here in the world of Kal and are searching for happiness. So the ongoing topic is that they cannot destroy the sinful karmas and they themselves also suffer punishment. This God Kal is the father of Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh. And those who ignore scriptures and behave arbitrarily. So we are living in such a world that if we do spiritual practice according to the scriptures, then some virtues will be gained. But sins will also happen in parallel, so they will be written separately until we come under the shelter of Supreme Venerable Kabir Dev, and that too through the Supreme Saint. You will not be able to get connected with God through fake saints, even though they are also called Kabir Panthi, because they do not have those mantras with which God can provide us benefits. Now, if someone cuts the crops with an axe, then it is not a proper way. It is useless. If you want to cut the crop, then you need a sharp sickle. That will cut it quickly in 1 hour, and he might continue with the hammer for 10 days. It goes in vain. So if the procedure to attain God should be correct, then God is attained. The ongoing subject is that the world in which we are living in is the world of such ruthlessness. For survival, one has to go somewhere. On the way, do not know how many animals are crushed under your feet. Insects, beings are crushed. This is known, but we cannot escape. And God tells that
पृथ्वी ऊपर पग दो धारे और करोड़ जीव एक दिन में मारे.
Now the point is that what worship we used to do by ignoring the scriptures, with that virtues did not develop. Because it was against the scriptures, and sins developed on their own. Like there is 1 acre of land or 2 acres of land. If you want to take some benefit from that land, like you want to grow grains like wheat, gram, millet, jowar, or any crop, then for that we must make special efforts. We will have to cut earlier weeds. If some bushes have grown in it, then they must be cut and removed. Then, with the help of a plow or tractor, you will have to work hard and you will have to invest money. With hard work or with money, you will have to sow seeds in it. Then you will have to put the seeds, that is, the seeds that will be sown, either you must buy and sow or put them from your home. That is also money spent. Then irrigation and personal hard work. Also, a lot of time is spent on it. Then the crop is grown, wheat is obtained. And if you do not work on the same land at all, then automatically weed will grow in it so much that no earth will be seen, so it is useless. So virtuous souls, the grass grew there on its own, junk and weed grew on their own. How many efforts were put to grow the crop? And the crop might grow or not. The spiritual practice here was of such type like if someone performs penance or yajna to attain the title of Indra to become the king of heaven, then his tenacity or yajna was interrupted by the present king, Indra, because here politics work. Righteousness cannot work. Righteousness works only after coming to the feet of God, after we renounce the wish to rule, then only we can follow righteousness and succeed. So Indra, based on his politics, fearing that someone might perform religious ritual to get the title, gets that, destroys, gets that interrupted with some or the other reason. That practice, just like the farmer cultivates here, if hails comes or it floods, the full-grown crop is destroyed, or fire might burn a full-grown wheat crop. So the point is that even after so much hard work, there is no surety that it will come home, and if it comes home, then how much efforts were needed? But the weeds grew on its own in the ground, so this world where we are living is such a place that if we have to do virtue, then we will have to work hard with the body, also have to leave work, and will have to invest money as well. Then we will be able to gain virtues. And our spiritual practice should be according to our scripture, and it should not be arbitrary worship. By abandoning the scriptural method, then we will gain virtues. And sins will be written on a par. Sins are written separately, and virtues are written separately until we do not come under the shelter of Supreme God, Kabir, through an enlightened saint. Till then, whatever practice we do, even if it is as per scripture, still both of them will be written separately, virtues and sins separate, and we will get both of them. We will get that false happiness which we consider to be happiness of those devotional practices in heaven and great heaven, and the sins which have been written separately will be tolerated in hell or 84 lakh life forms, or in human life that will be endured. In that also some virtues and sins are mixed. The point is that where we are living and the gods we are worshipping with them are accumulated. Destined karmas cannot be destroyed. The destined karmas are ones that have been written in our life, which we call fate, luck, and both must be born after coming in the refuge of God, Kabir. God explains that in Yajurved, chapter number 5, mantra number 32, that Usi kasi Kabir Anghariasi Bambhariasi. Anghiari means Ang, means sins. Ari means enemy, destroyer of sins. Is Kabir, Kabir Dev. We call him Kabir Sahib. Bambhari means who cuts the bond of our karmas. Bambh means bondage, and Ari means enemy, Bambhari. He is the enemy of bondage, Kabir Dev, Kabir Sahib, and that Ritdhamo Swarajyoti Ritdhamasi. The body of that God is self-illuminated, just as the sun is self-illuminated. In the same way the body of God is self-illuminated, he is in form like humans, is in man form. He is like a man and resides in Satlok. Virtuous souls, God had spoken 600 years ago in his nectar speech, in Kabir's speech, in Satchidanand Ghan Brahm speech, had said 600 years ago that
वेद मेरा भेद है, मैं मिलो वेदन में नाही, और जौन वेद से मैं मिलो वो वेद जानते नहीं.
Vedas are my secret. They are providing my knowledge, are glorifying me, but I cannot be attained by the methods described in these Vedas, because in these 4 Vedas there is a mention of spiritual practice up to Brahma, and the 5th Veda, which was the Sukshma Ved, which was the speech of Satchidanand Ghan Brahma, that is, the 5th Ved was destroyed by God Kal so that all the living beings under me may not get to know about true God, and by doing this worship may not get out of my trap. From this intention, this God Kal destroyed that fifth Veda to fulfill the loss of that fifth Veda. The Supreme God himself comes from Satlok, and then he provides information that is called the speech of Satchidanand Ghan Brahma. It has been said in Srimad Bhagavad Gita, chapter 4, verse number 32, that the practice is explained in verses 25 to 31, that Arjun, someone does yogasanas, some worships the gods, some are non-violent, strap their mouth and walk barefoot so that no living being is killed. Some do such practice. Some do sarvadhyay. Some only pay attention to inhaling and exhaling. The air goes out and air comes in. Just keep focusing on this. Only this needs to be done. Even if you do not focus on it, then also breath will come. What has changed by focusing? So, without knowledge, they were fooling us and were wasting our time. This practice was not correct. It was arbitrary worship against the scriptures. He says in chapter 4, verses 25 to 30 in Gita Ji that the seekers consider their practice to the destroyer of sins. And that is why they are doing. If they get to know that it is wrong, then they will leave it immediately. Then it is said in Gita Ji chapter 4 verse number 32 that the true knowledge of these yagya which they are doing are trying to attain God. Yagya means religious rituals. The information about these yagya, religious rituals, has been written in detail in the speech of Satchidanand Ghan Brahma Brahmane Mukhe, that is, God has come and has spoken from his mouth in that speech. That true knowledge has been written. Virtuous souls, that is the speech of Satchidanand Ghan Brahma, Kabir Vani, and God says that these four Vedas are glorifying me, but I cannot be obtained from the method described in these Vedas. I will show you the mantra of Yajurved, chapter 5, mantra 32. Kabir Anghariyasi Bambhariyasi. Look, this is Yajurved, and its translation has been done by Maharishi Dayanand. Who is its publisher? Sarvadeshik Arya Pratinidhi Sama, due by 5, Maharishi Dayanand Bhavan, Ramlila Ground, New Delhi. Yajurved, Arya Bhasha Bhashyam, complete 40 chapters translated by Maharishi Dayanand Saraswati. Dayanand Ji has done its translation. He is not the author of Vedas, is only the translator. Like there are many translators of Gita Ji, and the printer is Prince Offset Printers, 1510 Patodi House, Daryaganj, New Delhi. Now let us show you in chapter 5, verse 32. This is the 5th chapter below. 32nd mantra, 32. Look here. Ushigasi, see this. Kabir Anghariyasi, we call this Kabir. We say bear in our local language. Kabir Anghariyasi Bambhariyasi, Swaryurasi. They have translated this, O God, because of which you, Ushik, are radiant. Asi and Anghari means evildoers, the enemy of beings. Here they should have written, you are the enemy of sins, is the destroyer of sins. Now this was the ignorant theory of Maharishi Dayanand, that God does not destroy sin, therefore he confused the matter here, and then in the 13th verse of the 8th chapter it has been written 6 times, God destroys sin. There he had no say. Here it should have been written, Ang means sin, Ari means enemy. Who is the enemy of sins? Kabir. Now this is Kabir. We started calling him Kabir, and he has done the meaning of Kabir word as Kant Pragya. Now, Bambari, look, Bums means bondage. Ari means enemy, the enemy of the bondage. That is, we call him Bandi Chhod, who cuts the bondage, gets rid of the bondage. We call Kabir Ji, Kabir Parmeshwar. Bambari, we call Bandi Chhod. There is a difference in writing. Here we can write Bandi Chhod or enemy of bondages. It's the same thing. Now, like the mistake he has done here, he has written this wrong. He should have written here Kavi. He is Kavi. That's it. We would have believed that he has tried to correct somehow. He has written the meaning of Kabir as Kant Pragya. It is completely wrong, like this is Yajurved, which we are reading if their translation somewhere. I will show you. This is the 36th chapter of this Yajurved. Look at Kshatriyasya, chapter 36, 630, and this is the first mantra, this one. It is written in it, Richam Vacham Prapadha, Mano Yujho Prapadha. This Yajur word has been written. Now this is about Yajurved, and if anyone does literal translation of the word, then that's wrong. Its meaning must be written Yajurved, as this Maharishi Ji has done correct here. This is Yajur. It has been translated here. There it was the original text. Look at this. This is Yaju word, and it had to be translated Yajurved. Here the meaning became correct. Had they done the meaning of this it as a collection of sacrificial hymns, what would one understand if it is written as sacrificial worship? So the meaning of Yaju must be written that it is about Yajurveda. So exactly where he has made Kavi, we will have to read it Kabir Dev and must write Kabir Dev. We come here again in the 32nd verse of the 5th chapter. Here in the 32nd verse of the Yajurved, he did Kavi. He was supposed to write here that he is Kabir Dev, that's it. He would have written Kabir Dev. We started saying Kabir Dev. The meaning of Dev is God. So here it should have been written, he is Kabir Dev, and look, here it has been written Rit Dhamasi Swar Jyoti. He himself wrote Rit Dhama, that is Satyadham, called truth abode, or say Satlok. This Satlok, Rit Dhama, like it is spoken by some Rit Dhama, means resident of Satlok. It is said that he belongs to so-and-so village. We say like that Rit Dhama resides in Satlok and Swarjyoti. Look what rubbish he has done. In the translation, the one who illuminates the space, Swarjyoti, self-illuminates, God is self-illuminated. He resides in Satlok. His name is Kabir. He is Anghari, is the enemy of sins and is the enemy of bondage. That is Bandi Chhod, Kabir Anghari. We call him Kabir. Also started writing Kabir. Bigger I. Now God has said that वेद मेरा भेद है, मैं वेदन में नहीं, और जो वेद से मैं मिलूं वो वेद जानते नहीं. See this. Rigved Bhasha Bhashyam Part 2. From where is it published? The publisher is Pandit Rakesh Rani, Head Office, Ved Mandir, Mahatma Ved Bhikshu Seva Ashram, Lekhram Nagar, Ibrahimpur, Mukhmelpur, Delhi 110036. Telephone 7202249, and below it has been written Dayanand Institute, Publication of New Delhi. Now here is the translator. This is 910 Mandal. This is Mahatma Ved Bhikkhu, Bhartendranath Dayanand Sansthan, Karol Bagh, New Delhi. I will show you in its part 10, Sukt number 49. See this. Rigved Mandal number 10. Sukt 49. This is the first mantra. This is the first mantra of Sukt 49. It has been written in this that the one who worships me, that is complete God, is writing his glory in the Vedas. And this means that Aham Dan Grante Purvyam Swasvaham Brahm Kranav. Now the complete God says that I have created Brahma. Now look here, see their translation. I provide salvation and knowledge to the one who worships the everlasting world, Sanatan, grandeur, eternal abode. I also grant knowledge and liberation. That place is worth residing in, Sanatana abode, grandeur, going where your happiness will never end. I provide that. Ahem Brahm Kravnam. Now look, this is clear. We will have to read this also. They are messing this up. Ahem Brahm Kravnam. I create the Vedas. They have made Brahm meaning Vedas. Damn it. I created Brahma. Supreme God Kabir Dev Ji Satpurush had created Brahma. Now read the original Sanskrit. Ahem, that is me. Brahm, that is I. Create Kranava. Brahm, I create Brahma. Alright. Wherever they have made a small mistake in the translation, we will rectify it with our knowledge. These Vedas glorify me. This Veda praises me. All these 4 Vedas are singing my glory. I am the one who directs to the correct path to those who perform yag, charity and satsang.
करे करावे साईं मन में लहर उठा और दादू सिद्धर जीव के आप बगल हो जा.
It says that I only bring those virtuous souls who perform charity, virtue and satsang. I am the one who orders the virtuous path. I only defeat those mischievous, sacrificial beings in the battle. Means I defeat them. The point of saying is that I have created Brahma, and those who perform my true worship praise me. I make them attain Sanatan, ultimate abode. Sanatan, that is eternal abode. And when we go there, there is prosperity and all comforts are by default. There is no death, no old age and no scarcity of anything. It is a habitable world. He provides salvation and knowledge, and I, Ahem Brahm Krinavam, create the Vedas, not Vedas. I create Brahma. Maham Vardhanam Mahaniyam. These Vedas are singing my glory because later Brahma gave the knowledge of Vedas. Now the point of saying is that the scriptures which we believed to be correct, believed to be true and still believe correct, we could not understand them. When complete God Kabir, that Dhanak Kabir Ji, Weaver Kabir, God Kabir, Paramakshar Brahm, who came to Kashi, showed his Satlok to his beloved soul Dharamdas Ji, showed him the land of truth and made him familiar with the whole situation. And when he came back, left the soul back in his body, then after he awakened, said that, O God, we used to consider these Sri Ram, Sri Krishna, Brahma, Mahesh and Vishnu to be the supreme power. O Lord, are these Vedas and all the Puranas false? It has been told about them that they are immortal and eternal, almighty, omniscient. God said,
वेद कतेब झूठे नहीं भाई और झूठे हैं जो समझे नाई.
Those are liars who could not understand them.
वेद पढ़ने पर भेद न जाने बाँचे पुराण 18.
Read the Vedas and still unable to understand them. They got the incorrect worship done.
और जड़ को अंधा पत्ते खुआवे भूल गया सिरजनहारा.
They offer tulsi leaves for God, offer fruits, flowers on the idol, and it is said that you have forgotten the Creator. So these Vedas have the glory of God. Gradually, this correct translation will come before you. First, the servant wants to make you firm, that you understand that whatever this servant is saying is all true. After that, this servant will translate Vedas as required. First, you are being shown their translation of these mantras so that no one could confuse you by saying that Rampal does not know Sanskrit, and the followers of Maharishi Dayanand Acharyas were scholars of Sanskrit. Maharishi Dayanand was also a learned man. He knew Sanskrit. He has understood it correctly and has translated the Vedas correctly. So first the servant will show the translation done by him, and then along with that will highlight the errors. Then you will understand. Then you will be sure which translation is correct and which is wrong. Then you will decide and will become firm. Unless we are firm, we cannot attain salvation. A staggering man can never be successful. Suppose you go ahead and there are two ways. You are going alone somewhere. Either there is a guide with you or some knowledgeable person, or you have a map. Looking at that map, you can see and walk that this is the way and not this, and you are firm about the map that whatever has been written in it is final. So these scriptures are our map. You are being shown this map that this is your way where you are going and not this one. You will become firm and cannot be shaken again. If you don't have a map and you start walking and there will be two paths ahead, you will get into confusion. You make walk with closed eyes, that is separate. In the same way, the servant considers it necessary to introduce you to these scriptures. Now it is told that
वेद मेरा भेद है और मैं ना वेदन के माही, जौन वेद से मैं मिलूं ये वेद जानते नहीं.
it has been said in verse 32 of Gita Ji chapter 4 that the speech of God, that God spoke from his lotus mouth in Satchidanand Ghan Brahm, means Paramakshar Brahm has spoken the speech from his mouth. In that, information about these religious rituals has been given in detail. It has been told in Srimad Bhagavad Gita in the 34th verse of the 4th chapter. This Kal, the knowledge giver of Gita, is speaking after entering in Sri Krishna Ji. Entering in him is speaking. That is Tattva Gyan. You understand that knowledge by going to the enlightened saint, by prostrating them, by leaving deceit, serving and pleasing them, and questioning them politely. That Tattvadarshi Sant will provide you the knowledge of the Supreme Being, which even the knowledge giver of Gita does not know. That is the true spiritual knowledge. That is in the speech of Satchidanand Ghan Brahm has been uttered from the mouth of Satchidanand Ghan Brahm. That is the same God has come and told us this truth, that who are you? Where have you come from? Who is God? What practice do you do? The glory of that God, like you read in the first mantra in Rigved Mandal 10, Sukt 49, Vedas, God says, complete Brahma says that I created this Brahma. Later Brahma further glorified me because God had fed the 5 Vedas inside Brahma. Just as the entire matter, the entire film is transferred from one mobile to another, in the same way, God had faxed the 5 Vedas into his mind from there. Then as the time came, according to the rule of God, all of them automatically came out and appeared through his breaths from inside him. Now 50 years from today, 20 years and 40 years ago, the servant would have told that God sent these 4 Vedas in his computer inside Kal, and then when the time came, according to his orders, God did such a process that it automatically came out from his breath. You wouldn't have believed, but now you will believe all, because today the technique which you are seeing, you may download as much from anywhere. There is a small chip, this small, and how much matter is filled inside it. It may be fit anywhere and then is put, and you may download as much, fill the pages after pages and prepare the bundle. This had happened. When he saw it was downloaded from his computer and he read, there was complete information. In the 5th Veda, Sukshma Ved, the way of worship was also there. He destroyed it immediately, hid them. And in the other 4, there is glory of God, but he could not destroy them. There is glory in them, but not the way of worship. It is not possible for the living beings to understand these Vedas, whether it is Brahma, Vishnu, whether it is Shiv, they also could not understand the Vedas. God himself comes and explains those scriptures written by him properly. God spoke the decisive knowledge of the Vedas in his voice. Sachidanand Ghan Brahm speech, Kabir Vani. Now after understanding that speech, we opened the Vedas and the Vedas became completely clear. Because it is spiritual knowledge, it cannot be explained by those who only know Sanskrit language, cannot translate it. Like someone learned Hindi, a foreigner, he may become good in Hindi and has become a Shastri, and he does not know Ramayana, he does not know the story of Ramayana. And if someone tells him that you translate these verses written by Tulsidas, then he will do rubbish, even if he is a scholar. So in the same way, the scholars of Sanskrit language, a scholar is the one who is omniscient. Only God, Kabir, is omniscient, and was the knower of all the languages, knew complete spiritual knowledge, and he was called ignorant by these fake scholars. Knowing Sanskrit does not make one a scholar. Knowing a language does not make one scholar. It is okay. He knows that language. He is the master. That's all. They could not understand true spiritual knowledge, because of which they did their wrong meaning. Now that God himself comes from there, he tells correctly about the creation of the universe created. By him, he comes and provides the exact knowledge. He explains that knowledge. He comes walking like human beings, virtuous souls, this God Kal, through these ignorant sages, Maharishis, saints, gurus, Brahmans. The meaning of Brahman here is not by caste. This should be understood because we react and don't listen to the knowledge. The meaning of Brahman is one who is in the possession of Guru. He is a Brahman, the one who provides the knowledge, the knower of God. Brahman, soi jo Brahma pehchane. Brahman is called the one who has known God, but they did not know and were used to be called Brahmins. They were not sages, Maharishis, but were used to be called sages, Maharishis. Today they are called Maharishi, but are not worthy of calling Maharishi. They are called Brahman, but were not worthy of being called Brahman. As my Gurudev was a Brahman according to the caste in Haryana, in village Paintavas, near Dadari, Big Paintavas, district Bhiwani. He was the resident of that village, Big Paintavas, and was a Brahman by caste, but he does not call himself a Brahman. He used to say Sant Ramdevanand. He was a saint, and my Guru, grandfather, my Guruji's Guruji, he was from Chhavla village in Delhi near Najafgarh towards Gurgaon. Chhavla is on road. He was a Jat farmer from Chhavla village. He studied from Kashi Vidyapeeth and became the scholar of 4 subjects. He was called Pandit Chitanand. He was called Brahman. The ashram of our Guru grandfather is built in Gopalpur village near Kharkhoda in the district Sonipat. It has been written in their ashram, Pandit Chitanandji's ashram. And where there are ashram of our Gurudev, Sant Ramdevanandji's ashram. So here Brahman is not said because of caste, but because of the deed. So these fake Guru Brahmins who were at that post did not even know the ABC and were called sages and great sages. They could not understand that nectar speech of God. That is why God has said,
वेद कतेब झूठे नहीं भाई, और झूठे हैं जो समझे नाही.
it has been written in Vedas that God himself comes with speed. Like in Arya Samaj Guru, there are many educated people, but they have literal knowledge, not spiritual knowledge. Even Maharishi Dayanand also does not know ABC of spiritual knowledge. That's why he only tried to translate the Vedas. He had his own principle that God is formless and does not live at one place. One country means does not live in one place. He is omnipresent, just like air. The same is God. Well, gentlemen, how can formless God make such big structures? Like someone may say that how can one with form make? Listen, how one having form will make it? An engineer is in form and has made a ship, made an airplane and made this aeroplane. Made a ship is sitting in it and moving comfortably and the plane is moving. Let a formless craftsman make it after death. Damn, will he be able to make it? Like this, God is in human form. He is highly radiant. There is no limit to his power. Everything happens with his words. As we see, there are magicians. They put such a small marble in their mouth. After a while, they do like this and make it a big stone which comes out of their mouths with such great difficulty. And they throw it like this. You can check it. When a magician can do so much, then that supreme magician, he is almighty. He can do anything in one word. In the same way, we must get aware with the glory of that God. It has been said that God has done everything. In one word, Sakal Zameen Asman, he created everything in one word. He is almighty and can do anything. He came and gave that information that they say God is formless. Vedas tell he is in form. He is in a human form. Virtuous souls. That is why God used to say,
मोती मुक्ता दर्शत नाही, ये जग है सब अंदरे. दिखत के तो नैन चश्म इनका, फिरा मोतिया बिंदरे.
they seem to be learned men and were called Maharishis. They have cataracts. One who has cataracts in the eyes look healthy, everything would be visible, but is completely blind. One who has cataract in both eyes. God says to you, they look like Maharishis, Guru Brahmans, these Mandaleshwars, but they have cataracts. They do not know the truth written in their scriptures. And then they say God is formless. Now I will show you the whole situation of God. See Rigved, Mandal number 9. Rigved, Mandal number 9. I will show you, and Sukt number 86. Is God in form or is formless? What kind of spectacle does he perform? This is Rigved Mandal number 9 and 10 have been translated together. This has been published from Sarvadeshikarya Pratinidhi Sabha, Maharishi Dayanand, Ramlila Ground, New Delhi, and this is the printer, Prince Offset Printers, 1510, Patodi House, Daryaganj, New Delhi. This has been printed. Now, see, Rigved, Mandal number 9, Sukt 86, Mantra number 26. It has been written in this that for the worshipper who performs the yagya, God, who performs yagya means worshipper who do religious rituals means for the devotees, God eases all the paths, heals their obstacles and purifies.
आइए अब हम उन श्रद्धालुओं के अनुभव जानते हैं जो जगत गुरु तत्वदर्शी संत रामपाल जी महाराज जी से दीक्षा प्राप्त कर चुके हैं तथा उनके द्वारा बताए गए भक्ति मार्ग पर चल रहे हैं।
नमस्कार।
नमस्कार।
What's your name?
रश्मि कटारिया,
Rashmi ji, where have you come from?
इंदौर, मध्य प्रदेश।
What sort of worship were you involved in before taking the Naam Diksha from Sant Rampal Ji Maharaj?
Before taking the initiation from Saint Rampal Ji Maharaj, I was a huge follower of Lord Shiva. Means I had to go to Mahakal temple every year in the month of monsoon. I had to consecrate Lord Shiva. Means I have been doing a lot of worship of Hindu gods and goddesses since my childhood till I took the shelter of Satguru Rampal Ji Maharaj.
How did you get connected with Sant Rampal Ji Maharaj?
I joined Sant Rampal Ji Maharaj through a friend of mine in college called Rahul Ji. He gave me the book Gyan Ganga. First, he explained what kind of knowledge the book contained and how Saint Rampal Ji Maharaj is spreading the true knowledge of God. At first, I was a little angry at my friend as I believed that Shiva is the ultimate God and he is above all. But as soon as I started reading the book, things were more clear to me. And I kept on gaining more knowledge about it. Rahul ji also gave me the chip of Guruji's discourse and got more knowledge. Then I also read Gita ji, in which Sadguru has given all the evidence. After that, I wanted to go to Satlok monastery, but my parents did not allow me go, though they were convinced a bit later. The time my father got unwell, so it didn't happen. They first allowed, but then they did not allow because they didn't want to. Then I prayed to Kabir Sahib that God wants to visit the Satlok monastery. And then a drastic change happened in the situation that my father and my mother, 3 of us, went to Barwala monastery. So this way I joined Saint Rampal Ji Maharaj.
Rashmi ji, please tell us what kind of benefits you received after taking Naam Diksha from Sant Rampal Ji Maharaj.
First of all, I came to know about the true God that Saint Rampal Ji Maharaj has explained from all the religious scriptures, whether it was from Hindu, Islam, Sikh or Christianity, that who is the true God, and with evidence he proves that the true God is Kabir Sahib. He has given all proofs about him. Secondly, when I reached to Satlok Barwala monastery, I went to Saint Rampal Ji Maharaj to get his blessings. So when he kept his hand on my head, actually I had so much pain in my body in the past. I used to be sick all the time in the past. I had a fever all the time. It was like every time I had experienced body pain, leg pain, my mom used to put ghaslate oil on my legs. Then Guruji put his hand on my head. I started shivering. After that, I never had pain in body. Once a year, I get fever. Apart from that, I never have had any health issues since then. And another benefit is that after 1.5 months of taking the initiation, I got chicken pox, which people connect to the Hindu goddess. One night, I was having unbearable body pain that I couldn't even move my body. And as I heard a lot about Saint Rampal Ji Maharaj and his miracle from his devotee, I anxiously prayed to him and angrily asked him, why am I not getting any relief from pain? I want to sleep, but couldn't sleep because of pain. I had just said that in anger. I closed my eyes, and after a while, when my eyes opened, I saw Kabir Sahib in front of me. He looked so divine, very graceful. I cannot tell you how graceful he looks, and he looked at me as lovingly like a mother looks at her small baby. Like that, he was looking at me. He passed his divine smile at me. I too smiled at him back, and after a while, my eyes were closed and I slept like a peaceful baby. And when I woke up next morning, I had no pain in my body. I slept peacefully the whole night. Thirdly, my mother had gone somewhere on the pilgrimage, and there is a place called Nagbhon where there is a cave. My mother was sitting near the cave and she said, I'm searching here and there. And then a person appeared in front of him from my mother who looked like Saint Rampal Ji Maharaj and smiling at her. And he was having a shadow-like image of Kabir Sahib on him.
Rashmi ji, please tell us, what would you like to say to those educated youths of today's generation who are surrounded by various rumors about Sant Rampal Ji Maharaj?
I just want to convey the message to them that please don't believe in media's cooked up stories. Instead, try to know what exactly happened during the incident. Try to know about the truth. May not be in front of you, but it is there. And everyone who has been, it is trying to tell you but not believe them. So there are many pieces of evidence that are being revealed to the whole world that what was the reality. So watch it, understand it, and get the true knowledge that Saint Rampal Ji Maharaj has explained with evidence.
What message would you like to give to the devotees?
I would like to request to the devotees society that all the knowledge that Saint Rampal Ji Maharaj has given, he has given it from the scriptures, from the Gita and from the Vedas. The same scriptures that you have in your home. You have read it but didn't understand it. So look at it again, match the knowledge that Sadguru has shared and then decide whether he is right or wrong. Then you will be clear whether it is right or wrong. You do not need to even ask anyone. Just that.
Thank you, ma'am.
Sat Sahib.
आप सुन रहे थे जगत गुरु तत्वदर्शी संत रामपाल जी महाराज जी के मंगल प्रवचन। अधिक जानकारी के लिए विजिट कीजिए हमारी वेबसाइट www.jagatgururampalji.org। संत रामपाल जी महाराज जी के शुभ आशीर्वाद से पूरे विश्व भर में 500 से भी ज्यादा नाम दीक्षा केंद्र हैं, जिन पर संत रामपाल जी महाराज जी द्वारा ऑनलाइन निशुल्क नाम दीक्षा दी जा रही है। अपने नजदीकी